Your Majesties, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for always returning. Trust you and yours are well. And you're loving yourself and others like always. Many thanks to all of you for the support you give to the channel. Thank you so much to our channel members, to our anonymous supporters. To all of you, my esteemed subscribers, you're loved, celebrated, and appreciated. So today, I want us to deliberate a little bit more on two things. The first, which is a statement from the president of Senegal, Faye. He made a statement, and that statement is that France has enslaved, colonized, and remained. France has enslaved, colonized, and remained. They enslaved us, they colonized us, and they do not want to leave. Now you can see the evidence of his speeches in the happenings in the Sahel, in the motherland, where French government is asked to leave and they do not really want to leave. They go about roaming about looking for other strategies. The whole humiliation and everything they got from the Sahel, it's enough for them to say, okay, these people we want to save are not ready for us to save them. So let's just leave them to their fate. Okay, they would have gone, because if they are really here to save Africans, why are they still insisting on remaining? Why are they still, when the Sahel said leave, they went to target puppet leaders in the continent. You know them, puppet leaders, puppet grandfathers in the continent. They targeted them, and only the heavens and the ancestors knows what they have used in tying these leaders again, that they are still remaining, their influence is still in the motherland. The second discussion here is the fact that Chad has ordered the closure of the French military base in her home, and these are news that gladdens my heart. Yeah. It's about the progress of the motherland. It gladdens my heart. We do not just talk about, oh, something good has happened. We talk about the good, the ugly, so that we know who we are. We know the ugly side of ourselves as Africans and melanated people, and then know the strength, the beautiful things as well that happen. That's why we do not just deliberate on those good parts. We also deliberate on the parts that we need to work on ourselves as well. So this is a good news today, or these are good news today, that I want us to have a little bit of discussion about. Mind you, when the Fayez said that the French government has enslaved, colonized, and remained, like I was saying initially, it's not just the Sahel region that the French had hold on. The French had influence in the whole of the continent of Africa, either directly or indirectly, through their brother partners, through their sister partners. And when I say brother or sister partner, the people I'm talking about, because they all work together for their own interest and not for the interest of the motherland. And for the closure of the military base in Chad, of course, recently Chad began to, delve towards the path of the Sahel leaders. And it's a thing of joy, because if what happened in the Sahel can happen in the whole of the motherland, why wouldn't we be happy, Your Majesties? Because a lot of growth right now in the Sahel, after they took the step they took. Was it easy for them? No, because the whole world was against them. Their own brothers and sisters were against them. A lot of people did not believe in them. I believe initially when these things happened, and I talk about it in my initial videos where we talk about the military coup. When the military coup was heated, it was still hot, I was talking about it. I said this military regime is different from the previous ones that we know about. And a lot of you thought that, what do Abigail know about politics? Abigail, you're a woman, you have to keep quiet, you don't know anything about politics. But majority of the things I say, you can go back and watch the initial video of the Sahel, the videos I made about the Sahel initially when they took over, initially when the military, there was just military takeover, left, right, center. There were statements I made. You can go back to those videos and check it out. And then you see that majority of what I said in those videos are playing right now. Okay, that this very military takeover is not the same like the previous ones, because the moment you see that Europe and America are agitated about something, just know that there is something wrong. If they do not support any leader in Africa, know that it is because they do not have a hold on that leader. That's why they do not support that leader. And the moment I saw the way they were acting towards these Sahel leaders, I just knew that these people are not for them. That is why they are not supporting them, Your Majesties. All right, let's listen to the informations and then we take it off from there.
As French people, could you imagine seeing us in your country with tanks or military vehicles, with Senegalese soldiers in Senegalese uniforms? That's what history has been like. France has enslaved, colonized, and remained. Today I received a letter from President Macron in which he acknowledges that it was indeed a massacre. This step of acknowledging the massacre should open the door to perfect collaboration in revealing the whole truth.
Well, Chad has ordered France to pack up its military and get out of town by the end of January. That's according to the media reports in France. The French government reportedly received the request from Chad on Thursday. However, a French military officer cited by media claims the time frame given by Chad is just not enough. Well, we have requested comment from authorities in Chad. Now, meanwhile, officials there decided to tear up the military cooperation deal with France. This was back in November. And earlier this month, 2 French fighter jets took off from the military base there, marking the first step of the withdrawal. The Chadian defense minister says his country needs to reassess its relationship with Paris.
We have relations with the Russians, but they don't have any troops in Chad. It'll be the same with France. We'll have students in France. That's the training part. So cooperation is going to be reassessed. After 70 years, we need to sit down and review the agreements.
The truth is sometimes when there is comparison between Russia and the collective West, we always forget that the Sahel leaders has given us the answer to that already for some time now, because the Sahel leader said that Russia is not the same as the collective West. They know what they saw in Russia. They have been relating with Russia for the time frame that they studied these two entities, and then they discovered for themselves that Russia is a better ally. That was when they decided to delve towards Russia, because they say Russia plays fair. It's like, okay, you 50-50. That is how they play, not like Europe and America that do not keep to their word. Europe and America that always want to boss around countries in Africa, lord it over countries in Africa, turn their leaders into puppets, and then do everything for their own good and do not even care about the countries in the motherland. So the Sahel leaders feels that Putin is different from others, and that they can have business, they can do business at ease with Putin, other than Macron and then other significant leaders in the whole of Europe and America. Now, going back to the discussions and some of the things that Fire pointed out, which is the question he asked, or what he said, that there is no African military base in any country in Europe and America. You wouldn't see any country of any country in Africa wearing their uniform dominant, so that you wouldn't see any base that belongs to the African people in Europe or in America. Why would Europe and America have bases in the motherland? And these bases are used to exploit people, to intimidate sovereign nations, because like I told you, the criteria for which these bases are present in Africa, it is so alarming. I've made that video 2 times. If you have not watched that video, you have to check to watch it out. If you see the criteria, sometimes you will begin to cry, and then you ask yourself, what is this? That the sovereign nation in Africa, where these bases are located, the leaders of this sovereign nation do not have upper hand over these bases. In short, the president of any country in Africa that has a foreign base do not have the right to walk into the base. You see, they don't have authority over those bases. They don't know what goes on there. And these military guys come in without being checked. So we asked ourselves, where are all these deadly weapons coming into Africa from? Where are all this ammunition coming into Africa from? Where are these terrorists having these ammunitions from? Who is giving them this ammunition that is so advanced? The military bases present in your countries, foreign bases, they come into your countries without being checked at the border. The immigration don't check them. They just come in with whatever it is they have with them. You see why the motherland is suffering and will keep suffering with the presence of the collective West if we do not do anything to kick them out. And that is why when I see things like this, it gives me joy, it gives me hope that there is a time that things will change. It's not just going to change once. The Sahel did not just wake up and think. It was gradually that it was planned and then it happened. It came to reality. The same thing that the Chadians are saying, that they do not have any of their military bases in the whole of Europe and America. Why is it that they have their bases and they are intimidating them in their fatherland, in their motherland, in their homeland, in their home of origin, which is not fair? And so, they've given them time to just pack up and then leave their country. What do you think about these discussions? It's been there on the internet, it's there on the news, and this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen because the wind of change that has started in the Sahel is what is circulating, and that is what has been my prayer ever since there were military coups in the Sahel region. The prayer was that this wind of change goes round and round and round until it envelopes the motherland, that every puppet leaders are wiped out. If Macron was not getting anything from the Sahel and he was only in the Sahel just to save the Sahel, if the whole of Europe do not get anything from the motherland, they are only in the motherland to save the motherland, why are they still struggling to remain when they are told to go? These are questions that I'm asking because there are Africans, melanated brothers and sisters, who feel that Africa will be nothing if they cut off from Europe and America. Okay? If these people are the ones saving Africans, why is it that they are not living? Even when Africans are saying they should leave, they are looking for ways to still remain and have their hold. It is because there is something they enjoy. It is because there is something they are making. There is a profit they are making, and not just it's a huge profit that they are making from the motherland. Your Majesties, it's time that we wake up to this truth and see the realities that are before our faces. Okay? That we do not need the collective West to survive. We never needed them to survive. Our ancestors in the past never needed them to survive. They were surviving before the interference of these people. So why do you think now at this point that you need Europe and America to survive? Okay? So if you do intensive going back into history, researches, you discover that they are taking a lot. They are eating a lot from the motherland. And that is why it is hard for them to just say, okay, let go and move on. That is why it is hard. Okay? For Macron to come out and exclaim to the world that Africa is his home and continent, why haven't you still get it? Africa that a lot of people despise and reject, all of a sudden Africa became Macron's home, Africa became Macron's continent. And through that video, I saw a comment that I sat down for some time and I asked myself, what is wrong with us as melanated people? Somebody was saying it might be true because there are some French people who have African DNA in them, so it might be true that Macron is African. So, all this while, Macron didn't know, if at all Macron was African. All this while, Macron didn't know that he was African. Until now, that he was now kicked out. That is when he now knew that he's African. So even if he's African, Africans have rejected him. Because all this while, he never associated himself to be African. At this point in time, nobody is begging anybody to be African. So if you do not want to be African, that's good for you. You can be whatever you want to be. Okay? So this is the whole game played. This is just the dirty game of politics, and it is seen in every way. But Chad is saying, get your military base out of our land before January. And Fayel is also tagging along with the Sahel leaders to see that things work well for his own region. It's a good news, and I'm happy for them, and I wish them well. And I also hope that the French military base is closed in Chad, so that that angle is also silenced. What do you think about this? Leave your thoughts and opinion there at the section, and I'm going to see you in my next one. Until then, love yourself, love others, stay safe, stay positive, always your majesties. Bye for now.